What it do, wrestling world? Welcome to Over the Top Rope Wrestling Show. It's your boy, the one, the only, Mr. Steal, yo, Dibs. And on the other side, my brother from another, the Tantalizing Tony. My man, what's happening?
What's up?
Man, I see you working hard, getting at it. Man, you staying on the grind. I'm still proud of you, man. Your dedication is showing.
Yeah, bro. You see, here's my shirt. So I'm wearing a Popeye shirt because when you're strolling to your finish, you gotta eat your spinach. You know what I'm saying? So I'm oh shit, excuse me, I hit my table. I'm doing the best I can do, my brother.
Right.
Hustling every day, just trying to work hard. What else can I do?
That's all you can do. That's all you can do. But like I said, just keep up the good work, man, and the results are going to show most definitely. So, but
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling good, and like I said, it's not easy, but gotta do what I gotta do to stay healthy.
that's right, exactly. Now, let's get started with the show. As we saw this past week, there were more WWE releases. And let me just go over the names. Santana Garrett, Ruby Riott, Buddy Murphy, Lana, Aleister Black, and Braun Strowman. Now, I didn't like any of these releases. I really didn't. But the one that got me the most, it wasn't Braun Strowman. It wasn't Braun Strowman. It was Aleister Black. I don't understand how you are hyping and pushing this guy to come back with all these promos. And then he shows up on SmackDown, gives the black mass to Big E. And so apparently you wanted to start a feud between Aleister Black and Big E. And then a couple days later, he's released. I don't get that. I really don't get that. That's what made me mad the most out of any of them. In regards to Braun Strowman, they, for a whole calendar year, a little bit more than that, they never really had anything for Braun Strowman. Nothing at all. But Braun is still one of your biggest stars in the company. How do you let go one of your biggest stars in the company? I don't understand it. You've been in the business. You may understand it more, but at the same time, you may be on my side and disagree with it. I'll let you take the floor.
So here's the thing. I'm as confused as everybody else. Ruby Riott, part of WrestleMania. Braun Strowman, part of WrestleMania. Lana, part of WrestleMania. Some of these people were part of WrestleMania Backlash. Some of them were on TV the week before. Braun Strowman is doing vignettes and commercials for the fans coming back to the arenas.
That's right.
So you said Aleister Black was your biggest shock.
Yes.
It was, of course, it was a great shock to me as well. But the biggest shock to me are two people, Braun Strowman and Lana. And I'm going to explain why. Because of the deals they signed.
Mm-hmm.
They both signed long-term contracts. Braun Strowman's deal was at $1.3 million a year till 2023. And wow. Lana was rumored to be between $500,000 and $750,000 for the next 5 years.
Wow.
So when you have those kind of numbers and you pay those people that big money and then you release them, there's something a brewing. Now, as for Aleister Black, to me, the most talented person on the roster that got released. He's up there with a Samoa Joe when it comes to shocking releases. There's only one thing that I can say about these releases, and I know we're going to talk about it later, but they're opening up contracts and they're dropping dead weight for a reason.
Okay, maybe that is the case, but do you not keep your biggest stars, and then those who you are not using on TV at all, you cut some of them off? I mean, there's a way. I mean, I understand Braun and Lana were highest paid, some of the highest paid, but man, let's cut off this guy. Let's cut off Riker, so to speak. Let's cut off some of the NXT people we haven't used in 2 years. Just
not to mention you got rid of Buddy Murphy too. Well, yeah, what you're saying is a common sense point. Everybody's saying, but you gotta look at it like this. They're probably getting Jackson Riker really cheap. So why not keep? He's not getting paid. He's not making $100,000. He's not making that kind of. He's not making big money. He might be making $70,000 a year, which is not a lot of money to a billion-dollar corporation.
Not at all.
$5 million, still not a lot to a billion-dollar corporation. But when investors are looking at it, and investors are saying, let's see, we're going to change this product. Who is expendable? Not to mention, you got the NXT talent pool just waiting to be called up. So,
right. What's up, Mike? Hey, Mikey.
Mikey makes his appearance.
What's up, Mikey?
Kevin, see you later. Something's a brewing, man. Something's a brewing, and I wish I knew exactly what it was, but batten down the hatches because I don't think the release is over, and I hope to God me and Yim and Keith Lee are not on the chopping block. But I've heard.
I hope they're not either. Here's my thing. They had to have known, I would think, for a couple of weeks that they were going to make some more releases. They had to have known. And if that's the case, they had to have known that Aleister Black name was on that list. They had to. I'm just shocked that they're about to run a program with him. Had all these promos of his return. He actually returns, and we see him for only 1 minute, and he's gone. He's gone just like that. That's the part that I just didn't get. You knew that date. They knew that date was coming. They knew that day was coming. And you sent him out there a couple days before. That to me, man, and I know Aleister Black took it like a champ. He was professional in everything he said. But I know deep inside, man, he had to feel like that's a slap in the face.
Oh, of course. It's a definite slap in the face, and it goes to show you how WWE treats their talent. They don't care. All their place is a machine. It's a conveyor belt. It's like a car. It's like the GM plant. You put them on a conveyor belt. You built it. You build a car. You ship them out. Car don't work. You build a new one. Everybody's expendable, man. For Braun Strowman, see, Braun Strowman is a different entity entirely. Let me tell you why. Because he's homegrown. He's built by the WWE. He never wrestled anywhere else. He never has worked in any other organization except WWE, as he has mentioned. So, and what blows my mind is that he is the prototype of what Vince loves in a wrestler. Big, muscular, and just a big presence, giant presence on television. Not to mention he was athletic. You know, he was moving around a lot better. You know, the best knees in the business. But he was doing his little halfway drop kick, and he was doing stuff that was getting him over.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling.
Mike Bradley says, "What's good, fellas?" Mike Bradley, everything is great. Next Saturday, Mike Bradley will join us on the show on a special segment called the holy baptism by the Crescent City Saint, Mike Bradley. He got something he
Okay,
got to say. He got something he got to
okay.
say next week. So we're gonna give him his space and time on here. See what he got to say. Somebody by the name of Promoter of the Year, Tony Khan, and yes, this is not Tony Khan, people. Greetings, gentlemen. AEW on top. Don't you agree? No, I don't agree. I don't agree. I will say this. I will say this. Their pay per view that they had the other night, um, probably best pay per view of the year so far. I can say that. Give them credit for that. But as far as a weekly TV show, no. If they can do it to where they do it like the last pay per view, then they have a chance, in my opinion. Do I think it's the worst TV show of wrestling? No, I do not. I will sit here and say right now that is Monday Night Raw, hands down.
The AEW definitely with that pay-per-view is making a step in the right direction, and we'll see where it goes from there. But they're not on top of anything.
Not yet. Remember when he wore contacts from Mike Bradley? Is he talking about Braun Strowman or Aleister Black? I know Aleister Black had one in one eye and still does. I don't know if Braun ever wore contacts, so I can't recall. Might get back with me on that one. But with that being said, going back to it, back to Braun, I don't think Braun should have been released. That's my opinion. But we said this 1,000 times. They missed the boat with Braun years ago when he was over with everyone, every crowd, that he competed in front of, that he had performance in front of. They missed the boat. And to where now they didn't have anything for the man for a whole year. A whole year. I feel bad for Braun. I really think Mark Henry, the guy that spotted Braun, is going to do whatever he can to get Braun into AEW, and we're going to talk about Mark Henry later on. But yeah, I'm definitely was shocked. I was shocked. Now,
Shocking is the understatement.
yes. Now, with that being said, like you said, there's something brewing. Something is going on. And there's been a lot of speculation since the releases of Vince McMahon selling the WWE. There's people saying that Disney is going to buy the WWE. There's been word of NBC wanting to buy the WWE. I'll let you go first on what you think's going to happen or what may stay the same. I don't know, but what are your thoughts about what could be brewing?
I'm on the fence right now. I'm actually going to do a YouTube video about is the WWE up for sale? Because I'm trying to do a little bit of investigation. I'm talking to a few people. I mean, I know it's crazy. I don't know that many people, but I know a few people in the business that, have some opinions as well. But this is what you have to look at when it comes to WWE. It's basically been a family business for over 50 years.
That's right.
And Vincent J. McMahon, who started the WWF, made it into a territorial entity where they went to different places in the country and, they wrestled other people. When Vince got it and turned it into WWF, he brought all his territories up and made it global. Ever since Vince took it over, there's been some ups and downs, mostly ups. We had some slow times with, the bad gimmicks with, like Duke the Dumpster Drosy and the Goon and Gobbledygooker and, Ace Knuckleball Schwartz, Thurman Sparky Plug, who later
Zombies.
Excuse me?
Zombies.
Yeah, zombies. That was cohesive with zombies. But, Vince has never been the kind of person to follow the norm. Because if you're thinking as a normalcy, you think, okay, Vince is 74 years old, and Stephanie and Triple H are the heir apparents because Shane doesn't really want it. He has his little piece. But Vince is looking like he might pull the rug from under them. Now, we both know that NXT is probably the best product on television. SmackDown as a very close second, like neck and neck, very good. But if Vince does sell WWE, would he split the company to make it that NXT would be a different entity within itself and give that to Triple H and Stephanie, which is a possibility. So I'm leaning towards, and it's gonna be crazy. I'm leaning towards that Vince is gonna sell to Universal. What that means for us as fans, it could be better, it could be worse. We might not see another WrestleMania. This could be the end of everything we know in the wrestling business. It could be a good thing for the business, being that now smaller companies can shine, or it could be that it tanks so bad that all the other products and all the people we love in other places, and what do you watch? And is it quality? You know what I mean? WWE has spoiled us.
Well, I don't think it's going to happen. And I want to read Mike Bradley's post before I get into it. Mike Bradley says Triple H will be the one not to let that happen because he is committed to the business. Disney at one time had the Power Rangers and then sold them because the mouse, known as Disney, Mickey Mouse, didn't know what to do with them. So he makes a good point. I don't think Vince is going to sell it. I think that's all rumors and speculation that just popped up because they saw a bunch of people get released. And they saw a high-paid athlete in Braun be one of them. I don't think it's going to happen. I think Vince is going to keep this within the family business. I think Triple H and Stephanie are going to be the ones that's going to step up and run it, with Triple H probably running all three shows with Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. I just can't see how Vince said that his father had a dream and he wanted to continue his father's dream would all of a sudden be like, I'm selling the company. I just don't see that happening. I know he sold the network for a ton of money, a whole ton of money. But the network is not the shows we see on TV. That's his baby right there. Sitting in the gorilla, saying this in the ref's ear, telling Michael Cole this, whoever. I don't think that Vince selling this company is going to happen. I really believe this is going down the family ladder or the family tree with Triple H and Stephanie next in line to run it. Like I said, I think it's just rumors and speculations because of the releases that just happened.
I hope you're right, because to me, a world with the WWE is, my childhood. Everybody's childhood.
Yeah, our childhood. Yes.
So I hope it's not for sale, but something's going on, man. Something's not right.
You really think that Vince would sell this company and then boom, there's no more WrestleMania, one of the biggest events of the year? And the other day on the talk of the shop, LeBron's haircutting talk show on HBO Max or whatever, where Jay-Z said WrestleMania is bigger than the Super Bowl.
It is.
That was out of Jay-Z's mouth. I just don't see how.
But that's the thing. See, it is bigger than the Super Bowl, and there's people in the corporate world that don't like that. And people like in the NFL, a lot of business owners in the NFL got their hands in NBC's pot. NBC is a conglomerate network, and they have a lot of rights to all the football stuff and all the Super Bowls. What a perfect way to kill their competition, to kill their something that rivals them as being the biggest thing in the world. I'm worried because Vince has not made a lot of smart moves lately. There's people
Right.
that should be getting pushed that are just falling by the wayside. So he's made some poor decisions. And this is the other thing too. In the last 17 months since the pandemic, they've shown nothing but profit.
Yeah.
So why
Oh,
are
they
you
made a
cost
yeah.
cutting? So why are you cost cutting? Why are you cutting? Why are you cutting your media? Why he converged his media into one thing, to his, the music people, the bookers, everything's been cut. You know, all this talent he's cutting. Why?
I had somebody look up the amount of money they made since the pandemic started till now, and he told me they made over $1 billion in revenue, and that wasn't even including the Peacock deal, gross net, and everything. But he looked at their stocks also, and he said their stocks are still rising. So if your stocks are still rising and you made all this money, why sell? Why sell?
Well, I agree. Why sell? But why, if you're doing so good, and there's no house shows, there's been no live events other than WrestleMania, and you're showing a profit, then why are you cutting all these people? What is going on that these people are getting cut? And these are people that aren't slobs. He's broke up the Riot Squad, they had some momentum going.
Yes, they
You
did.
know, you just cut Lana, who in the last 6 months has showed she got better. Went through a table every week for the past 12 weeks in a row.
Yep.
Showed she could, hold a match and look tough. Aleister Black, who they have never used right, like, Samoa Joe, I'm still can't get over.
Right.
And then the Monster Among Men, the one, he wasn't my favorite. I always told you that.
Yeah.
But he's homegrown.
Homegrown.
And you cut him. Something's wrong, man.
Mike Bradley asks, if it does get sold, do you think talent will have a lighter workload? I don't know, Mike, because if it gets sold, I don't know who would be in charge, who would be running it. If Triple H would still be like running it, but not, as he'd be as a employee of whoever owns it, of the employer. So I don't know how that would work. I really can't give a good answer on that. I just don't know. Could we see less house shows? Maybe. Could it be more? Maybe. I just don't know. Tantalizing. What do you think about that?
I mean, it could be a lighter workload. We don't even know if whatever company does buy it, if they want to break it up. They might try to break up Raw, SmackDown, and NXT as 3 different real,
Yeah.
companies.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm afraid. I hope it's just my paranoia, but I want to see what happens within the next couple of weeks. I want to see when we go back to live events, if we have any releases then, because then we'll have a better idea on what's going on.
I agree. I totally agree with that. Now, moving on to the next topic. If anyone went onto the WWE website and you went to the rosters link, there was a picture that was put back into the roster link on Raw, and that is the picture of Brock Lesnar. Brock's picture would not be put back up if Brock wasn't about to return. And I've been calling for it. I've been calling for it. That Brock needs to return at SummerSlam, and Brock should face not Roman Reigns, but Bobby Lashley. That is the matchup to make. I'm hoping this is it, because we talked about this many times. I talked about it that it should happen at WrestleMania. Brock versus Bobby. Didn't happen. Here it is. His profile is back. Do you think we're getting Brock Lesnar back at SummerSlam?
It's a possibility. And I just want to bring something else up. You just mentioned Brock Lesnar, and then we didn't even correlate the releases. Did they try to open up some money to give Brock Lesnar some more money?
Good point. Because they usually pay Brock about what, $5 million a year?
They asked for more. They asked for 20. Because Vince is a sucker for Brock.
Brock,
And
yes,
he'll
he is.
give whatever. So he cut those people to give Braun more to give Brock more done.
Good point. Maybe so. Good point.
Because think about it, the releases happen and his picture goes up the next day.
Yeah. That's right.
So or we didn't even bring back that, not to get off Brock 1 second. Is Vince releasing these people to go to AEW to infiltrate?
That means if he's doing that, he still got to pay them. He got to pay them under the table.
You got to realize something anyway. They had contracts, so they got to give them a payout anyway. Because if they had a guaranteed contract and WWE released them, they had to give them something to go.
Yeah.
So, but back to Brock. We know this Bobby Lashley Brock Lesnar match should have happened 10, 15 years ago.
That's right.
So I think that being that Brock has already fought in Vegas for the UFC, being that Vegas is a big venue, it's the gambling capital of the world.
That's right.
What better way to do it to bring in Brock Lesnar, where people are gonna, you can bet on FanDuel now on wrestling, believe it or not. What better way to start some buzz as the first major pay-per-view after pandemic where everybody's in attendance to bring back Brock Lesnar to fight for the WWE title against Bobby Lashley? I think it's a done deal. I think it's signed, sealed, delivered. And I think we will see in the main event of WrestleMania the almighty WWE champion.
You mean SummerSlam.
Excuse me, SummerSlam. I'm all over the place. Forgive me.
It's all good.
WrestleMania is always on my mind.
That's right.
Always. I'm already thinking about Dallas. But I think it's SummerSlam. It's the number 2 pay-per-view. We'll see the almighty WWE champion Bobby Lashley versus the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar. But question for you, my friend.
Yes, sir.
Will Paul Heyman be in Brock Lesnar's corner?
I'm going to get to that in about 40 seconds. My boy Mike Bradley, Lashley versus Lesnar, that's a Mania headliner. But that dude doesn't push the needle except for merchandise in regards to Brock, I believe, because sheeps are suckers. Because sheeple are suckers. Okay?
True.
It's definitely Mania headliner. And it was the match I wanted at this year's WrestleMania. It was the one I wanted. And, I didn't get it. Oh, well. But I will take it at SummerSlam. I will. Now, back to your question. Does Paul Heyman stand in the corner with Brock Lesnar? And I thought about this since yesterday. I said, man, what if Paul Heyman stands in the corner for Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam? And let's say Brock happens to beat Bobby, and Paul walks out with Brock on Monday Night Raw. And then on Friday, Paul is back with Roman, and Roman is pissed that his special counsel is teaming up with Brock. And Roman might say something like, did you ever ask me to go team up with Brock? This and that. Which will lead to a feud. Because Brock might win a championship, and then, once again, he's gone. He's gone for a certain amount of time. And this feud might lead up to SummerSlam, where they're both the champions. Winner takes Paul Heyman. I thought about this. Because if we go on with this Roman storyline, Roman don't like Jimmy Uso trying to take Jey Uso from him. He doesn't like it. And then now if Brock comes and Paul goes with Brock without even talking to Roman, that's another feud that can lead up to Survivor Series with those two going at it one-on-one.
I'm going to go a different route with that.
All right.
I do believe Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman will be together. And I think that if the main event at SummerSlam is Bobby Lashley versus Brock. I believe Roman Reigns interferes to help Brock Lesnar so that they control both shows. Why take the heat away? Roman has been at the best. Roman has been at the best. This is the best Roman's ever been.
Ever.
You cannot take that momentum away from him, and you cannot turn Brock Lesnar face. What better way to control wrestling if you have the two major heroes at the top of the card with Paul Heyman in both their corners? They can run roughshod over everybody. They'll be a bigger power trip than Stone Cold and Triple H were. They'll decimate everyone. You can always break that thing up, that team up down the line. But wait till we get fans in the stands. Wait a year or two. You gotta realize Brock's at the end of his career. He's 42 years old.
I think he's older than that, huh? Maybe 44?
Maybe. Whatever the case may be, I don't see them turning Roman face anytime soon. And Brock Lesnar as a face just doesn't cut it. Because he can't talk.
That's correct. He's never been a talker. I'll say this. I think Brock comes back, but I don't think Brock and Bobby would be the main event. Unless John Cena doesn't wrestle Roman Reigns. If Cena's
another thing entirely, because if he comes back, yeah, who do you put in the main event?
You got to put the last two faces of the company. That's John and Roman. You have to. No other way. That's who I would put.
On July 12th, Brock Lesnar will be 44.
44. Okay. And Bobby Lashley's 44 too, I believe.
So there you go. So we got to do this now.
You definitely got to do. Yes, definitely. If the rumors are true that John Cena is going to be the one to take on Roman Reigns, that is your main event. Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley co-main event. Or better yet, just say a double main event. Just say both of the main events. But Roman and John will have to go last. But I think Bobby and Brock, this has to be done. We've seen Brock against Cena. We've seen Brock against Roman many a times. This has to be the match. Do not make this main event Brock versus Roman right then and there. Please don't. Please don't. Give us these two big powerhouse wrestlers, both with wrestling background, at SummerSlam. Like Batista say, give me what I want.
Right.
Now, your good friend, fan favorite to many, Mark Henry, is now at AEW. And the other day on Busted Open, Mark explained why he left the WWE. Mark wanted an office position. He was with the company for more than 20 years. He was part of their he went scout talent for them. He scouted talent for the WWE. He got you Bianca Belair. He got you Apollo. He got you Braun Strowman, King Corbin. And what most people don't know, he also told them about Daniel Bryan before they signed Daniel Bryan. And he lied to the company, saying there's this guy, he's 6'1", 200 pounds. And they went back to Mark and said, he don't look 6'1". And Mark said, well, maybe he got lifters in his shoes. And then they signed Daniel Bryan. So Mark Henry had a lot to do with the talent that you see in WWE. But all thing Mark wanted was an office position. And they did not give that to Mark. So once his contract was up, Mark felt as if he had to leave. and he's got a position in AEW. He got an office position. He's going to be calling matches, and you best believe Mark is going to go scout talent also for AEW. Is this another part of the WWE release where when Mark contract is up, they just didn't want to resign him and didn't want to give him what he asked for? What do you think about this? Because I'm gonna sit and tell you like this: if Mark got that type of talent to wrestle for my company, Mark get an office position with a raise. I'm not letting Mark go. Not at all. That is some of the best talent. He got you Daniel Bryan, Braun, Bianca, Apollo now, and freaking King Corbin. And we talk about everybody on that list were all champions at one point in time. All of them. King Corbin, I think, had the Intercontinental or the U.S. Championship, one of the two. But they all had titles. King Corbin is one of the most hated heels in all of wrestling. I mean, I don't get it. If this guy could do this for you, man, give him that office position. See what he could do in the office. Because he already showed he could bring talent to the company. Now you let him go. You don't give him what he wants. He's going to bring talent to the other organization that's going to be your competitor eventually if their numbers keep going up. What do you think?
I'm going to ask you a question before I give you my comment.
Yes, sir.
You ever seen Total Divas? I don't watch it, but have you ever seen Total Divas?
I watched a couple shows of probably the first season with the Funkadactyls, the Bellas. That's about it. But other than that, no.
Okay, well now during Total Divas, they pull back the curtain. See a lot of backstage stuff going on. You see them walking the halls. You see him talking to Mark Carrano. You see him talking to executives. You see him talking to Triple H. You see Vince at Gorilla. You see a lot of things back there. You know what you don't see? Any black executives.
Right.
When last time you see a black executive in WWE? When you see one booker that was black in WWE, name a producer.
I know they just hired 2 black women to be part of the creative writing team. I know that.
Okay, that's writing. Jason
Yeah.
Jordan's the only black producer that I've seen in I don't know how long. But you name he's not in the front office. Who in the front office that you've seen is African American?
Oh, 0.
So why would Mark Henry get a shot, even though he helped them? Vince looks at people as workers.
Yep.
Vince looks at people as who can rocket on their back and shoot straight to the glass ceiling to grab that brass ring. Mark Henry made the best decision. Made the best decision for him. Tony Khan is a person of color.
Yep.
He sees talent and he doesn't care what your gender, color, whatever it is. He wants his company and his product to be better. Mm-hmm. So Mark Henry came over and says, look, I want to scout for you. I want a front office position. I want to commentate. I want to get back in the ring eventually. Wow, he got everything he wanted from a guy he doesn't even know that well. But Khan, being the businessman he is, saw that Mark Henry's still hungry and he wants to help the business. And he said, this is the guy that can push our business further to get it to the next level. Vince McMahon, who he gave 20 years of his life to, didn't weigh those options and say, you know what? He brought in Corbin. He got Braun in. He got in Bianca Belair, who's going to be the biggest star in the history of women's wrestling. She's going to surpass Charlotte Flair as the biggest star in women's wrestling history. Mark my words. And you don't give this guy for office position. Excuse my language, everybody, but get the fuck out of here.
I'm happy for Mark. Like when we saw it happen, we were shocked because we thought he was a lifer. But when he came on, busted open and said what he said, I didn't blame him one bit. I did not blame him one bit.
I never blame him.
Yeah, definitely not. And first order of business, and like I said, I think he's going to Braun Strowman. I really think so. And the reason why I say that, well, because he found Braun, number one. They have a good relationship. They are friends. Number two, name me one big, big man in AEW that people would be fearful of. Like Braun, Undertaker, Great Khali. There's really, there's really, they don't really have one. Brody Lee was one. God rest his soul. He passed away. Maybe Lance Archer, but no, you need somebody with an intimidating presence. 6'8", 380 pounds, pure just chiselness. That to me would be a perfect signing for AEW. Braun Strowman and Mark Henry will have everything to say about that because I think he will get that job done.
I agree that that Braun has the inside track of Mark Henry, but here's where the problem lies with bringing Braun in. Nobody in the company can stand up to him, size-wise. So now that means he's pigeonholed. Do they job him out, or do they make him a monster and have him just run over everybody, beat Kenny Omega, take the title, and give Vince the big fuck you? That's the one problem with Braun, is that he's so big and he's a WWE guy. And what are you doing? You can't put Cody in the ring with him. You can't put Scorpio Sky in the ring with him because, you know, that's the one thing about WWE. You can put him in with Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre, Brock Lesnar,
Randy Orton. Yeah.
Randy Orton, Big E. There's people you can put him in the ring with. You bring Braun in, he dwarfs everybody. And what do you do in those kind of matches? DQ, 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 DQ. You can't give him a second. You can't give him the secondary title. It don't fit. If they don't work right, you got to give him the big title. So will Kenny Omega be willing to drop the belt? You know, or whoever the champ is at that time. It's a tough fit.
But with that being said, bringing Braun into AEW, wouldn't that help increase your ratings? The type of star power he had?
I don't think anything right now is going to change ratings for either show. I think people are locked in what they like, and it is what it is. I don't think anything you do other than if you move The Undertaker to AEW or Shawn Michaels, like somebody major that, you know, Braun Strowman ain't putting no asses in the seats. Nobody's going to WrestleMania to see Braun Strowman. If he's in a match, okay. That's why he was brought in as the COVID champion, you know, against Goldberg.
Yeah.
Nobody was. If COVID hadn't happened and Roman pulled out, Braun Strowman would have never been WWE champion in my opinion. Or Universal.
Right. Yeah, Universal. Braun can have some good scraps with Lance Archer and Brian Cage, and possibly some handicap matches. Powerhouse Hobbs, but
he dwarfs them all, and he's got. Believe it or not, even though other people might have more experience than him, he's got the best experience in the world. He's homegrown WWE, which means everything would have to change for him to come to AEW. I don't see it.
Now back to Mark Henry. Mark Henry is also homegrown WWE, but he has a lot of knowledge in the game. What type of knowledge and advice can Mark give to everyone backstage who works for AEW?
Well, you have him. You have Christian Cage. You have Jericho, of course. You got John Moxley to an extent. Big Show. You have these guys now that have been through the wars, that have been through the trenches, have traveled all over the country, all over the world. They have wrestled tribute to the troops. They have been overseas in war zones. These guys have nothing but talent and knowledge in their brain to help these young guys. Are these young guys gonna seize the day, so to speak, and listen to them and benefit off the talent and benefit off their experience? That's what we got to see. A lot of these guys are headstrong and they want to do the kicks and flips and super kick, super kick, super kick, high spot, high spot, high spot when they can't tell a story. That's the problem with AEW. The storytelling is not great. Now with the pay-per-view, they went in the right direction, and we'll see. But Mark Henry don't take no shit, as you all well know, and I can't call Mark Henry a friend of mine. I have talked to Mark Henry outside of Busted Open, outside of any show, and Mark Henry's all about business, man. And Mark Henry wants shit his way or no way at all. So Mark Henry don't got a problem putting his hand on your shoulder and grabbing your little traps and crushing them like a grape. So it would behoove anybody in AEW to listen to the world's strongest man.
Like Bradley says, hopefully Mark tells them to work on their characters/gimmicks and protect their finishers. Also, be able to tell a damn story. Agreed, sir. Agreed.
He sounds just like what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree with that. I think Mark Henry is in a good place. It's a great opportunity for him, and I wish him all the best. And I think only great things can happen with him backstage at AEW, and even with him calling the matches. You know, I think only great things about to happen. His tutelage, his knowledge of the game, along with like the guys you said, Chris Jericho and so on. It can only help. It can only help. Now, that being said, guess who else is now all elite wrestling? Andrade El Idolo. I came close to saying it right. I came close. But Andrade is now all elite. And he says he will be the face of all elite wrestling. And I think we should have saw this maybe happening because at AAA Mania, it's going to be Andrade versus Kenny Omega for the AAA World Championship, which is held by the collector of belts himself, Kenny Omega. But
not for long.
Yeah, I think next Saturday he loses his first belt. That's me. That's mine. That's just me. We'll see. But what do you think about Andrade joining All Elite Wrestling?
What a great signing. I wish they'd have done it a little better. I wish he had some interest music.
Yeah.
I wish that Vicky Guerrero had done the introduction a little better. Let him come out first. But that being said, this is who they really should use to propel the business to the next level, because Andrade Cien Almas, as he was known,
right,
was underutilized after he lost the NXT Championship and got called up.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
What might be great about this as well is we might see an Aleister Black Andrade feud again. Because if you think Aleister Black is not coming to AEW, you are sadly mistaken.
I heard NWA.
No way.
Yeah. He got to go. He got to go on national TV.
He got to be on national TV, and they're gonna give him some big money. And he got Zelina Vega, his wife, which is I don't know her real name, but those two together. Could you imagine him and her together, and then they're going against Andrade? Come on.
Be wonderful. Andrade is one of the best talents in the world. Hands down, people. One of the best talents. He was not used right on Monday Night Raw. Not at all. And it was a shame. It was a total shame. Just like I look at Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza. Great talents, just not being used right. And my fear for Andrade right now is that he just signed with these people, AEW, and we don't see him on TV. That is my fear, because AEW right now has a bunch load of signed wrestlers. A bunch load. And they have AEW Dark on YouTube. They have AEW Dark Elevation on YouTube. They're about to get AEW Rampage on Friday nights, a 1-hour show. And then you got AEW Dynamite, which is going to be a 2-hour show. So I'm hoping that Andrade is used correctly on one of these TV shows. It's where he should be. He's that great of a talent. I don't want to have to see Andrade on YouTube. I don't. You got to start Andrade off with a good feud against somebody from AEW. And I don't care if it's Kenny Omega after his matchup with Jungle Boy um, at their so-called Supercard show. But don't do Andrade wrong. Please don't. Please don't. Because if you never saw Andrade wrestle for NXT or when he was in New Japan Pro Wrestling, you do not know what you're missing.
Yeah, Andrade is a different kind of talent. It sucks that he's not about 2 inches taller.
Yeah.
Because then you really could, you really see him as a heavyweight champion. I think that's what Vince's problem was with him. They were a little on the short side. But the guy is so good. I mean, he's one of the best in the business right now. Like, I mean, literally one of the best. Like, to me, he's a cross between Shawn Michaels and AJ Styles. Like, he has that much talent to me.
Yeah.
So, and being a Latino wrestler, it sucks you get that, oh, he's the greatest Latino wrestler. No, man, he's one of the greatest wrestlers. You know, I hate they got to put the moniker on him. You know, that, oh, they know Lucha Libre and Latino. And no, he's a great wrestler.
Yes, sir.
I'm hoping that his relationship with Charlotte flourishes and they stay together, and that she gives him good advice, and that, you know, he makes his mark in AEW.
Speaking of Charlotte, I was going to that next within this topic. Somebody told me that Charlotte is going to leave and go to AEW, and I said I don't think that's going to happen. And the guy said, you got to look at it like this: she fought for him to get released. So why don't you think she's gonna leave? I said, yeah, she fought for him to get released so that he can go show his talents somewhere. That's why she did it. She was able to sacrifice herself to sit out of WrestleMania just for him. But I don't think Charlotte leaves the WWE at all. I think Charlotte stays put. You might not see Charlotte at a lot of house shows just so that she could be with Andrade during the weekends or whatever. But regardless of the fact, Charlotte Flair is not leaving the WWE.
You know, and forgive me for eating, but I gotta eat my protein this time. Forgive me.
Well, we know that. We know. Go ahead.
I'm on a strict diet. I gotta eat a certain time.
Yep.
So forgive me, everybody. A week ago I would have said no, but we don't know when her contract's up.
Right.
And Tony Khan's pockets are everlasting.
That's right.
If her and Andrade are still together, serious about being together, I mean, and things aren't going her way in WWE, I can see her leaving. Only people I can never see leaving WWE are Roman, Lesnar, Cena, and Triple H. Anybody else right now, to me, is fair game.
Wow.
I could see Drew leaving. I could see Bobby Lashley leaving. I could see the Usos. I could see a lot of people leaving. I think people are getting fed up with the way Vince is running his company. And for people like Christian to leave, who was loyal to that place, you know, how much longer until they start screwing Edge over? You know? Wow. We haven't seen Edge. We haven't seen Edge.
We haven't seen Edge. But I think, didn't they say Edge is only supposed to do like 25 shows a year, I believe?
Yeah, but he had said he wanted to be a full-timer. So what's going on there?
Right. Wow. My man said Charlotte could leave. Woo! Man.
You got to start. The business is changing again. Right now, COVID changed everything. But you got to realize this. Braun Strowman getting released is the biggest thing since Hulk Hogan leaving. This is major. We're desensitized to things because of all the releases. Samoa Joe, everybody else is Matt Cardona. All those guys. Okay. Braun Strowman was homegrown, built for the WWE, and he's gone. They released him 2 years before his contract was up. That means no one's safe, except the people I mentioned.
That is true. That is very true. I'm just going to add Charlotte Flair to your list. That's just me. I just have this feeling that does not happen. But if it does, woo, the wrestling world will go into a frenzy. Now, I was just on Instagram one day, just going through it, and I saw a picture of Roman and Kenny. And the question was, who is the best wrestler in the world? And this is when I have to come on in and say, people, you have to clarify stuff. Best wrestler doesn't mean the biggest wrestling star, as in Roman Reigns. Best wrestler doesn't mean best in ring ability, as in Kenny Omega. Best wrestler means who can actually wrestle, grapple, and who has the technical skills. Bret Hart, Kurt Angle, Daniel Bryan, so to speak. We have to start saying the right things. So Roman Reigns is not the world's best wrestler, but he is wrestling's biggest star in the world. Do you agree with me, my friend?
110%. And forgive me, someone done the wrong way. My stomach's acting bad. When I hear wrestler, I think Shawn Michaels,
Mm-hmm.
Bret the Hitman Hart, Kurt Angle, Daniel Bryan,
Yeah.
AJ Styles, Eddie Guerrero,
Yeah.
Chris Jericho,
Yes, sir.
Chris Benoit,
Yes, sir.
the Dynamite Kid,
Yeah.
wrestlers
Yes.
that can actually have a match with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Big, small, medium. They can wrestle a big guy. Shawn's done it. Shawn's wrestled Diesel. Shawn's wrestled Hulk Hogan. Shawn's wrestled Stone Cold. Shawn's wrestled Ric Flair. He's a perfect prototype of wrestler. Bret Hart, same thing. Yokozuna, Diesel, Hogan, Owen. He's wrestled Owen. He's wrestled Benoit. He's wrestled Dynamite Kid. Same thing with Daniel Bryan. Going against all the big men. Batista. Big Show. So, Mark Henry. Brock Lesnar. Good pickup. That was Bobby. So, wrestler, Matt wrestler. Yes. Star, different. Roman, Cena, Lesnar, Drew, Bobby. You know,
Yeah.
we got to clarify. Are we
I
frozen?
see you. No, I'm here.
Oh,
I'm here.
we got to clarify. I was like, you got to clarify what's the greatest wrestler. So
That's right.
I would think.
Totally agree. Totally agree. Yeah, they say Roman's the best wrestler in the world. Whoa, wait a minute. He's the biggest star. He's the biggest star. I know what some people mean, but we do have to clarify. So I'm glad you are in agreement with me. On to the last topic. Tomorrow afternoon, 4 o'clock your time, 3 o'clock my time, we have a NWA pay-per-view. And all I want to ask you is this. The NWA World Champion for over 2 years, Nick Aldis, defends his belt.
Mickey James' husband.
Oh, that's the husband for real?
Yeah.
Oh, where have I been? Whoa, I knew she was married, but I didn't know it was Nick Aldis. Okay, cool.
Mickey James' husband.
Awesome. Nick Aldis. He takes on Trevor Murdoch for his NWA World Championship. Who wins?
Nick Aldis ain't losing that title, bro. Nick Aldis has been running Rush Hour, everybody. He's a big name. He needs a bigger platform. You need to get him over to AEW, which I think they will.
Go ahead, finish.
I think we'll see some cross promotion stuff between NWA, and AEW because Nick Aldis is too big of a star not to have bigger platform. Trevor Murdoch, great talent, but Nick Aldis ain't losing that title, bro. He gonna keep that 10 pounds of gold.
Nick Aldis is the face of NWA. And I don't care if Nick Aldis stays there another 2 years. I don't think anyone's going to beat him. Not at all. Now, what you just said is something I thought of. Because we've seen Thunder Rosa and Serena Deeb from NWA have matches at AEW. Why not have your NWA champion show up one day and challenge Kenny Omega?
And say, look, I'm the real world champion.
Exactly. So, make it happen. But yeah,
it's coming. It's coming, bro.
I say Nick Aldis is too much of a talent to where he should stay at NWA. He needs to move. And I think AEW is the perfect spot. Not WWE. AEW to me is the perfect spot for Nick Aldis. I totally agree with you.
I don't think you'll ever see Nick Aldis in WWE after what he did to Mickey James. So.
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not. Nick Aldis, as far as wrestling star, wrestling ability, is he one of the best ones in the world to you?
Oh, yeah, hands down. Like I said, I met him at the Busted Open thing in New York, and he doesn't get the credit he deserves because the guy's good. Check him out on YouTube. He has some great matches, and he's very versatile with his wrestling style, and he can change up. I just wish he had a bigger TV platform to be on.
Yeah. One of our fans just chimed in. Murdoch for the upset, just because of the storyline, but it will only be a quick title reign. Hey, anything can happen. Anything can happen.
True.
I think Aldis is gonna stay as champion. I'm very intrigued by this pay-per-view. I'm gonna watch it. 3:00. I'm gonna watch it. I want to see Serena Deeb versus Camille. I've heard a lot about Camille herself. Either on Busted Open or people just talking. So I want to see what does Camille bring to the table inside of a wrestling ring. I just saw Serena Deeb and Riho on the buy-in for AEW Double or Nothing, and they had one of the better matches of the show, and that was the buy-in. So I'm very intrigued to see what can Camille do against Serena Deeb. But I'm going to watch it. I am going to watch this pay-per-view.
Yeah, I'm going to check it out as well.
Cool deal. Now, ladies and gents, that is all we have for today's show. But before we go, we got some news to break. You got anything you want to say first, or you want me to go first?
Oh, you, bro. Right. I'm good.
All right. So, ladies and gents, as we make progress to grow our platform here at Over the Top Rope Wrestling, on July 17th, a Saturday at 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central Time, the owner of Wildcat Wrestling, Luke Hawks, will be joining us live right here on this show. Yes, I said it. Luke Hawks. Luke Hawks is the owner of Wildcat, former Wildcat heavyweight champion. He's currently the Wildcat tag team champion with his son, PJ Hawks. And Luke also wrestles with NWA and Ring of Honor when they call for him. He makes that run over there. Also, Luke is an extra in a lot of movies. Okay, The Rock beats him up in one of the Fast and Furious movies. Jamie Foxx kills him. Wolverine kills him, etc. So we are glad to have Luke Hawks join us. But I'm not done there. 5 days later, July 22nd, on a Thursday, we have AEW's own Amber Nova joining us right here on Over the Top Rope Wrestling. So we got some questions to ask her about AEW. Plus, she loves muscle cars, old muscle cars. So we're going to get to all that good stuff. And this coming Thursday, 7 o'clock your time, 6 o'clock my time, we will have the television champion of Reality of Wrestling, Edge Stone, joining us on the show to talk about the Level Up Wrestling show by Reality of Wrestling this Saturday, where he will face Jace Valor, the Revolution champion of Wildcat Wrestling. Ed Stone joining us. What you got to say about all this, my friend?
Man, you got 3 big bombshells. You made 3 big calls, making me look bad. And I knew you were going to do this to me. And I got to give you props. But I got to tell you something, too. I've been hiding some in my back pocket. In September, and this is just solidified, in September, part of the Samoan dynasty, L.A. Smooth will be joining us on the show. I don't have a date yet, but it will definitely be September, early fall.
That is big. L.A. Smooth, part of Samoan Dynasty. That is Roman Reigns' cousin. That is big. So here's my question. When I go on our Instagram page to start promoting this, can I put a picture of L.A. Smooth saying coming in September?
Let's sign the deal first.
Okay, that's what I'm asking.
For the horse, because we don't want to make, he might push it back to October because he's working in PA here and there. But
okay,
right now we got a tentative date of September.
All right, I'll hold off on saying anything about
It
LA
might
Smooth.
change. It might change. It might be earlier. So, but he's coming. You
All
know
right.
he gave us his word. We
That's
talked
right.
to him, so he's coming.
All right, I'll hold off on saying anything about him.
WrestleMania weekend. We talked to WrestleMania weekend, and you know that dude is a man of his word. So
that's right. VK, what's happening? VK, I will call you right when I finish with this because I gotta go somewhere. I'm gonna call you. I haven't forgot about you. But VK says you guys are moving up. He's proud of us, and he got an announcement coming soon. That's right, VK. That's right. You make that announcement, you let us know, my brother. Definitely. We appreciate you. Yeah, definitely. I'll hold off on saying anything about LA Smooth. If y'all watching it,
you know, it's out there. People, our fans can hear it. But before we promote it and really boost it up, I want to make sure I got the date.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But he gave me a tentative. He gave me a tentative. We're good to go soon.
Awesome deal. Awesome. This is great. This is great, man. This is good. I'm excited.
I wanted to surprise you.
You did. You did. I kind of had a feeling when you said, "Oh, you trying to show me off." I was like, "Oh, did he do it? Did he do it?" And there it is.
When you texted me that when you had Luke Hawks, I said, "Okay, game on." So you.
Yes, indeed. This is fun. Yeah, Ed Stone replied to me this morning, and he's like, "My bad, man, for getting back to you so late." And we talked, and he said Thursday is fine. So this Thursday coming up, we got Ed Stone. Cool deal. Any last words, my brother?
I don't have any last words because I'll be back next week. So my last words if he ain't come back no more. So, but I want to say this. For everybody who watches this show, thank you. If you can, share this with other pages and share it with your friends. They can check our show out, number one. Number two, on a personal note, JB, all the encouragement still, I'm saying every week, thank you so much. As you can see, I'm looking a little, something. So,
that's right.
For everybody out there that's been watching my progress, thank you for the prayers and all the good wishes. I cannot thank you enough, and I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
Awesome deal, man. Happy for you. Everybody watching the show, go to our YouTube page. Subscribe to us, please. My brother, his name is Tantilizing Tony on YouTube. I'm JB, your sports guy. So we asking for all the subscriptions that we can get. Other than that, Thursday, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central, Ed Stone will be right here on the show joining us. Other than that, peace.